There are seven Democrats with the majority in the assembly from Westchester County, and 5 are on the committee. So we have a lot of representation, and we're a very active delegation. So Metro North is very much in our thoughts and in their thoughts, but now I have a broader view, obviously.
Chris?
Yeah.
Mentioning, as I'm a Brooklynite representing Brooklyn, we are concerned also with, I'm glad you mentioned about accessibility too, but the concern is a little, we are lately seeing a lot of ridership going more onto the trains, buses, yes, in a blue moon, those torture, whatever you want, if, you know, those stressified, whatever you want to call accessorize, you can always correct me on that. The concern also is part of your district, and I did mention to the Metro North and Long Island Rail, is the edges are also a concern of safety also, because some of us, like,
Platform edges.
huh? Andrew, say it again louder.
Platform edges.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Platform edges, doesn't matter which line it is on, subways, Long Island Rail, Metro North. The concern is there's gaps, sometimes there's a higher level, sometimes
There are always gaps in the New York City subway.
Yeah.
Between
Much
the
more,
train and the
and the platform,
Yeah.
horizontal and vertical,
Uh-huh.
unlike the LIRR and Metro North, which have a very active program about warnings. There's like no warning system at all in the subway. Absolutely nothing. You've got those great big triangles on the door, on the wall, on everything, on the commuter rails. You also have on the commuter rails bridge plates. And employees, assuming they actually own the bridge plate, it's not busy, which is quite frequent.
When one track is out, they just have the plate across the new board on the next track.
Okay.
So there are all of these options, and we do not have those in the subway, which greatly impacts the utilization of wheelchair users being willing to use the subway.
Not to mention the fact that on the subway, you have so many different car classes as opposed to the commuter rails, which are one or
Right.
two car classes,
Right.
basically.
I mean, I have typically, if traffic is low, I'm on the A train and I'm on an old vehicle, it can be 5 to 6 inches. When we did a study, it was somewhat humorous. We were at City Hall and other board members are saying to me, it's level, and I'm like, just watch the train come in. And the train comes in and goes like this, because that's the gap changing as the platform changes.
And the concern is, as he is correct, is there is some service, there are some safety issues, and, you know, and we've been hearing in the past that elected officials promise, they said, oh, they're gonna do something about it, but we don't see them doing it, and I can.
President Byford sounds like he's gonna look into it.
No, I didn't say buy for it, I don't want to quote that I said buy for it. I am saying that buy for it just started. We have to be fair because he just started. We gotta see what he's doing. I don't like to jump on something until I see something comes up.
But we also need a forum at
Exactly.
which those of us who ride daily, and I mean, it's like, I know everyone who rides the A train daily, because I see them every day.
A-train rider also.
Okay. And, you know, I mean, it's just that,
Do you see Edith?
Oh, no.
No, he's,
um,
I'm just saying.
yeah, you know, it's, there's a
No, I
need,
hear what you're saying.
because
I'm
we
gonna-
certainly do
good.
not, when we meet with people in Albany, it's like,
Well,
go out by
you have to
yourself.
also remember that would be part of a capital plan component, because you would need to purchase, or an operating, if it's equipment that you could buy more easily, but you know, which would be part of the MTA's decision-making, not
yeah,
elected
it
officials.
would be much better to level the playing field rather than putting in bridge plates. Because it's the time and it's the personnel.
Understood.
And they actually did
Yeah.
do a pretty good job. So far, they're doing it at 145th, they're doing it at 175th to raise the platform and bleeding it into the gap.
That's great. Yeah?
Yes, speaking of budget, I'm also an A-train rider, and these R46s should have seats taken out of each car, So that way the people in wheelchairs can fit in those accessible seats where each car, each inch.
Understood.
And,
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of budget, you know what's the best way to save money? The best way to save money, we not live in Queens, the best way to save money is to cut some of these bus services, like on Lefferts Boulevard. They need to, it's in Lefferts Boulevard and Godreau Boulevard.
This is not really something that.
Yeah, this is something that we have jurisdiction over. You know, I mean, I love hearing the information because it's all new for me, but it's not really what I have jurisdiction over. But I'd be happy to, if you want to email me some of the issues just to educate me, I'd be happy to
Send it.
read it.
I'm just
Send it to the
Yeah.
PCAC.
Send it to
We'll
us.
send it to us.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to forward it.
Orin?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm from Rockland County, and the big bone of contention is our representation on the MDA board. How the board is set up, we're considered a quarter pounder. And somehow, the legislature's got to look into this and see what can be done so that we have more effective representation. Rockland County is basically, and our county executive has been very vocal about it, we get the short end of this thing.
I hear you.
And we should have at least one complete vote. I mean, that's got to be done, and somehow, I hope that the legislature can look into reorganizing the MTA board. The governor wants to put more of his members from other places in, and even give us less representation. And I think that's very important that we have at least some effective representation on the MTA board.
We are two of the three representatives from the community council who are on the board, and we do not have votes.
Yeah, that's another
We
issue.
have a lot of knowledge. I'm a 44 decades. And I have over 4 decades of transportation, having worked at the transfer authority 20 years ago.
May I ask you, you mentioned that there were 5 or 6 Westchester Assembly members on your committee. Would it be possible for you, I know it's been reconstructed, to send maybe to Bill so that he can send it to all of us, a list of all who are on the
It's on,
incorporated?
it's online. Yeah,
it's
it's
online.
online.
It's on the assembly
But
website, I'll be
Yeah.
happy
No,
to.
but if
Yeah.
you could
To
send
get
it to us, and also, who is now on the capital program review board? I assuming that changed also.
I think it's Mike Benedetto. Yeah. It's Mike Benedetto. He's chair of cities, I think.
Reading it during.
No, but there are four members on.
I only know the assembly person,
Oh,
and because I'm not on it, I don't see the others, you know?
okay, maybe
But,
we could find
it's
out.
public.
Yeah, it's difficult because they only meet periodically and sometimes the names change,
But I know it's Mike, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they will be meeting more and more and more as the capital program comes up
Right.
again. And it goes to them before it goes to anybody else. So
That will be brought to the whole legislature. One member's
yeah.
not gonna make all those decisions.
Well, I understand, but with the Second Avenue subway, it actually, there was a stop and then there was a start again. And there was a blockage in the capital program review. And until that got pushed through, the Second Avenue subway, which also may account for some of the overruns on the cost, because then it had to be rush.
No, I've read that.
Once they agreed to do it, so.
Right, I think there's a lot of debate, you know, even within the MTAs, I'm seeing between, you know, new stuff, you know, and repairing what we have,
Yes.
right?
There
So
is.
that's the debate with increasing or making the Second Avenue subway even. And I can say that, you know, one of the things that I first, and I'm not even saying this is true, because I wasn't as involved as I am now. But, you know, when I first came in, some of the staff who've been there longer said to me, you know, now, you know, it's good you're coming in with a different perspective, or, you know, just a non-city perspective. because the, you know, you'll be thinking more about the suburban, you know, you have the Long Island Republicans, you know, thinking about LIRR. And you had Shirley Silver thinking about the Second Avenue subway. And, you know, although I grant you that Metro North is probably in the best shape of the three, it still has needs. So I think that, you know, there's a different kind of conversation now than we've had before. Everybody recognizes the importance of New York City to the entire state and the importance of the subway system. And as I'm reminded by my staff who came from Ohio, you know, Ohio, Cincinnati built a subway system and then they never used it.
That's true.
Right? So we don't want to be Cincinnati. You know, we don't want a
I don't
subway
think there's
system
much
that
chance
doesn't
of
work.
that.
No.
So you know, so the importance, you know, and, you know, my husband commutes, I commuted, my son works in the city. You know, we all need that system to be 100%.
And don't forget what a high percentage of people who ride the LIRR and Metro North then transfer to a subway.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right, absolutely. So we, you know, we need the whole system working and we need to look at the whole system. And
Rochester also had a subway.
what?
Rochester had a subway till 1957.
Westchester.
Rochester.
Oh, Rochester, yeah. Oh, and
So
they
your,
don't.
your
Yeah, and
district
the subway
covers
too.
the Harlem and the New Haven lines, not the Hudson line, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I don't have, well, I
Of
have
the towns you
New Rochelle.
described, that's the New
New
Haven line.
Haven, okay, so I have New Haven with Pelham and New Rochelle.
And
Right.
New
And then every,
Scarsdale, and so
I
that's the
have,
Harlem
I have
lines.
White Plains, Hartsdale, Scarsdale, Crestwood, Tuckahoe.
That's all.
Rochester.
Rochester.
Major works.
Yes.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank you.
taking
Yeah.
this time. Let's go to old business.
Yes, I'd like, well, may I speak
You
to?
haven't been called on, sit down
No,
please.
You're not recognized yet.
no, I will speak to the assemblywoman when she steps
No,
out.
yeah, okay. You know what, I actually have another meeting, but I'd be
So do
happy
I.
to, yeah, so I'd be happy to take your email though.
No,
Go ahead.
It's a one-way conversation.
Yeah, I don't really have time now.
Why not?
Because
Ellen, she has to leave.
You were late.
I'll cover that. I
No,
was late because
Please
I
don't.
took Metro North.
I'm sorry, that's not the assemblywoman's problem.
Do not harass her, please. She
I'm
said
not
that she
bringing
doesn't
you down,
have.
you're harassing by raising the issue, and it wouldn't be an issue if you didn't have that attitude, which you've had for a few years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Chris.
On business, can we, in the next couple, Andrew? Andrew, I know we're gonna get a little distracted, but can we talk about in the next PCAC meeting,
You mean the one that's 3 months away, is that the one?
yeah, are we gonna have Andrew Byford coming in, or maybe the new?
He's coming to transit.
I don't know unless I ask.
Go with her, also, officer around her, protect them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stand for that.
You know, but Bradley is young.
I'm just gonna.
Can I also bring, Andrew, can I bring it up since he's not in this room? Can I say something?
Once the door is shut, yes.
Yes, because there's something, it's needed.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna be.
No, you go and get him away from her.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't wanna know the fate of our existence.
Unless Andrew and Bill stand physically between her. It's not up to Tim, it's up to you two.
And
It's up
Bradley's
to
there.
you two.
No, Andrew.
What is Tim Ellison?
Who?
He's at Albany, sort of government and community relations, I think, for MTA as well, between
The
Albany.
guy's, the guy by right
Yeah,
behind
Tim
you.
Ellis, yes.
Oh, he's in the community relations.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
I was
thought
just
they
gonna
would
say,
get
that was
here
my old
fast
business,
enough.
thank you, Bill, I was gonna just say.
It worked up at 3:47.
Yeah, but it's, you
It
know.
takes them much longer is the problem here, because the building's so darn
Can we
big.
please leave him outside?
She's gone.
What?
She's fine, she's gone. Yes.
Under the old business, at the last transit riders meeting, I asked about the new police chief for transit. And today, again, we were talking about bus lanes.
Yes.
I'd like, when he comes in, that should be on if surface enforcement because about 5 years ago, the MTA police had a pilot project where they were enforcing bus lane congestion in the central business district. Yeah, on the east side. I'm
Yeah, it
wondering
was on
if we
Lexington,
could,
it started on Lexington.
I'd like to see that brought back, just like they sent in the state troopers to help out. And maybe that's something he could talk about also, having the state MTA police enforce the bus lanes if the city doesn't have the resources to do it. Because that has been done before.
We can ask, but the city certainly has the resources to do it.
Yeah.
Well, they have, the governor thought nothing about sending 300, 400 state troopers into the city.
I know. You know what that's a product of, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, it's a pissing contest.
Yeah. Someone else had their hand up
Okay,
before
I
we
did.
call on community people.
Okay,
You
you had
did, Chris,
Chris
yeah.
in the middle of the
I
discussion.
was in
thought you were,
discussion,
yeah.
but since I can't bring it up, but unless someone else. does.
Okay,
The only thing I'm just saying is there a way, can we, I forgot now, I was gonna say,
Okay,
because it's a
okay,
distraction.
let me move to a different question.
Go ahead.
Okay,
You might know.
at the end of last month's meeting, I did raise the question of a bus forum
Yes,
for the,
Yeah,
for us.
we're working on it.
Right. Okay, so we are moving forward with it despite the fact that there's another bus forum in discussion. So we're gonna have
We're moving on it.
2 this year. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I would just say that, one of the problems in buses is by the time, similar to this, is that by the time anyone gets there, the person is gone.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen this time.
Well, Daryl's
Okay.
back now, so.
And,
Yeah, I spoke with him the other night.
and you heard, of course, and you know that President Byford is coming up with a bus action plan, and we wanna see what that looks like too,
Right.
obviously.
Well, Daryl's gonna be part of that. I mean,
Yeah,
he's-
Daryl's not leaving
he's-
yet.
No, I mean, he's got the most input into.
He absolutely does.
Byford's
He absolutely
action
does.
plan.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Andrew,
got, yes.
Andrew, since we're mentioning bus forum, are we gonna be doing the bus forum?
I would assume we are, yes.
That was my suggestion last.
Because one,
Yeah.
because
It would be a TRC bus forum.
No, why I'm asking is, because now, thank you for Edith backing me up, because it got me really upset with all the interruption. But the bottom line is, if we do this bus forum, and I think strongly, I know last time they had a bus forum here. It was on the train station, some areas, but I think we need to make sure that we do a press conference, that we're doing a bus forum, or announce it strongly, so everyone knows in all.
We always do.
I mean, yeah, we send out, we send out notices, in fact, we put notices that we put notices in the buses.
Yeah, they let us do that even.
Yeah, I mean,
There are notices in the buses.
2 weeks before the forum,
Yeah.
there's posters in the buses.
What about forum?
Pearl, that's what I'm looking at.
Nothing about Pearl.
Oh, I thought he said something about
I know.
forum.
Nothing about Pearl, we posters.
That was last
No,
week.
That was last Thursday.
I know, I just don't know what, I thought I heard
Yeah.
forum. I don't know.
But Andrew, no disrespect, I'm not saying you guys are wrong, I can see in other boroughs, but in my boroughs, I do not see them
What do you
on.
mean in your boroughs? They're all our boroughs.
Brooklyn did not have them there.
We're not
There
that
are
parochial.
There are Brooklyn chauvinist, you might as well get used to
Thank
it.
you.
Fine.
Almost as bad as West Side.
Yeah, Bert.
Putting up,
I knew you were gonna go there.
Sorry?
putting up posters takes a long time, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they do it for us.
Can they get them in all the buses?
Yes, we provide them
That's
with.
not to say someone doesn't rip them down, but they do put them
That's
up.
We provide them with them, they go out, they have a regular
Jerry,
system.
when you do
posted up the
something,
buses.
and
Goes
railroad
with
puts up, things for you, they do every train, right? Like the seat drops, for instance,
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
all branches, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a team that does it on like Wednesday afternoon for the weekend.
For the service changes.
Right.
Alan?
24 hours. Two things here.
That's one.
One, my lateness and how I was treated by the head of security over there. He is so frightened. And let me remind you, your office is in this building to save money, but it is open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, to the public. So if I want to stop
No.
by 176, well, it is.
No, it's
Check
not.
the
No,
public
it's
offices
not.
law. You have to have a separate office, and it's be off premise, but it makes sense to be here. You and I discussed it, so you can have liaisons with people you need to talk with instead of
Get to the point,
sending a
Alan.
letter.
What's the point though?
Well, so I don't like it. He is wrong, and this is a public office, and you are here to serve the public. Who were you appointed by?
I think we do
You
that.
were assaulting the Assemblywoman
I
who was
wasn't
our guest.
assaulting.
She told you to keep away from her, and you
She
refused
didn't
to
say
do it.
anything at all. She didn't have
She was
time to
backing away
talk.
from you and you kept
Excuse
approaching
me,
her.
she was
Your
leaving. You
your
call-
attitude was intimidating. So
Uh,
get to your
say
question.
you.
Get to your
Say
question.
you.
Get to your question,
It
we'll
Who
sit
doesn't-
down.
appointed him?
It doesn't look good for any of us if you're, for instance, as I'll use today as an example, really late, you weren't here to hear her presentation and you assault her on her way out.
I didn't
That is not
assault her on
good.
her way out.
Well, you look
No,
like
you
you were
stalked
stalking
her.
her.
I did not assault her on her way
You
out.
stalked her.
You were stalking her. I
Stalking,
used the-
no. You use
Okay.
legal terms, and
Ask-
you're
ask
not
your
lawyers
question.
and don't know what they
Ask your
mean.
question.
Nor are you, Alan.
Keep
No,
quiet.
let's
There
go
are
to the
honorable
point.
members of the bar here.
Please, let's get to the point.
The point is this, what I would like to see my counsel put forward, and maybe you can speak to the assemblywoman about it,
Folks,
a bill that was enacted in Florida that served very well, and, but then the Republican governor there, one of the Bushes, got the legislature to repeal it, but then when he left, they put it back. That for all increases, be they telephone rate, electric, or subway and bus fares, commuter line fares increases, that the agency have to show that they provided sufficiency, adequacy, and efficiency of service in order for that, any rate increase. Because if they haven't, the rate increase can be denied. When this was tested, final line here, when this was tested in the courts in Florida,
rate increases in New York State for utility companies are done, or say, are the Public Service Commission,
excuse me, and also for the transit.
but not for transit.
There's a system for that.
Yeah, I mean, the Public Service Commission does not approve transit
No,
increases.
I'm talking about the MTA. A law for the issue of MTA for any increases, adequacy,
That
sufficiency,
requires
efficiency.
state legislative approval. We don't have the power to do that,
Now,
Alan.
you do have resolutions that you have made for time.
Well, I would want to hear what my
Prices.
respective member of the Assembly or Senate thinks of such a move. Plus, I have a conflict because I'm on the MTA board, so I would expect constituents would do such a thing, not me.
But I want to say, when that for.
I see what
increases for
happened when
buses-
Governor Pataki froze the fare for 8 years, Alan. I'm well remembering how much 1,300 maintenance personnel were laid off, among other things. Not good.
Well, he froze the fare, but I'm saying to get an increase, things like that should be considered, because when tested in the courts, they said no, they need it, it would be confiscatory to deny them. But when that was enacted in the Florida law for the rates for buses and so forth, then it could be considered, the court said.
Yes, I know.
I would speak to you, whoever your, is Assemblymember Rosenthal your representative? Your assembly person?
No.
No?
Danny?
Oh, Danny O'Donnell?
Danny.
Yeah, I would
It's not
ask.
a gay issue, so he's not interested.
I make a motion.
You don't know, because you've got to know what he's interested in,
Yes.
see that.
Second.
Motion to, yes.
Okay, 11 hours,
Adjourn, yes.
seconded, good move.
See you, Junie.
Thank you all, folks.
Andrew, can we